Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I think a perfect setup for what I was planning on talking about, because I think Kyle really did laid out some really good insights into what you need to be successful. I want to talk about performance management systems, which is a little bit of the how you can encourage your teams to do that. Before getting into it, I want to thank Doug and Expedient. This is a great topic. Technology is taking over our lives, and we're like the minstrels in this day and era, bringing technology to teams, people, and our culture. And I think it's important that we address the topic of leadership because it is so critical in our organizations. So I want to start a little bit with my personal leadership journey, just because I think it's relevant in these conversations. And if you get bored, just put your head down and I'll take the cue. But I've always, I was fortunate as a child. My parents were able to get me some computers, which I instantly took a liking to. Around the time that some federal agents showed up at my house, I decided I needed to maybe turn a different direction. Got a degree in electrical engineering, but stayed technical. Did database work, programming, a lot of really cool stuff. Started getting into data and analytics, and someone's like, here, report to the CFO. And I was in their meetings, in their staff meetings, and they started talking about competitive advantage and all sorts of business terms that I didn't understand. So I went back to business school to learn the language of my counterparts around that table. And then I just started supporting different functional areas of the business, from sales, marketing, service. I had a 27-year career at GE Healthcare, and finally ran out of functions to support and said, you know what, I want to go into cybersecurity. In about 2018, 2019, my CIO at the time at GE falls out of their chair and is like, you're a CIO, you don't go do that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, I'm kind of curious. It looks like something's happening with this ransomware stuff. Fortunate, great decision. Unfortunately, right after that, the pandemic started. So we had to do, everyone left their offices, so I learned from a fire hose about cybersecurity, things that I thought I understood but didn't. At the same time, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so going through the pandemic and learning about how to, the cancer journey was something kind of unique as well. So I had a lot of personal stress and learned how to manage that. Coming out of the pandemic, helped GE Healthcare spin out from GE, and then got a call from, if you see my wife here, this is a Accuray RadExact. I got a call from a friend who happened to work there. GE Healthcare has a lot of people here in Milwaukee. Accuray, the company that makes that RadExact, is based in Madison, got a call saying, hey, they're looking for someone to come in and help them with their IT and cybersecurity. So I jumped at the opportunity, given that that was the machine that treated my wife's cancer. And one more recent thing, my father was recently diagnosed with and treated. Luckily, thankfully, he's doing quite well. A rare aggressive form of cancer. He also went through radiation therapy. So it has a close personal meaning to me in this business. And I don't know if you can see it, but this is the actual equipment we make. And it is so cool. We are 100% manufactured in the United States, 70% sourced with US suppliers, and we are making radiation therapy equipment. This is what's called a linear accelerator. It's kind of like a particle accelerator. It is taking X-rays, massively high voltages, and delivering that inside the body to a thing that's moving. We're using machine learning to watch where that tumor is moving, and then delivering a very high power megavolt of radiation within, we say sub-millimeter, but really it's half a hair length of accuracy to maximize the dose that's delivered to the cancerous cells. Radiation kills cancer cells. Healthy cells can recover. And so we're able to do that with incredible accuracy, minimizing the side effects on healthy cells, maximizing the dose on the cancer tumor. So here is our product getting made. This creates a tremendous amount of heat. So you see all kinds of copper tubing. We're imaging the body while we're delivering that radiation because we want to see, if you've got a cancer and it's moving in your body because we have normal bodily rhythms, we're imaging it. We have NVIDIA chips sitting there spinning on this stuff, imaging the body to see where the healthy tissue is, where the dangerous tissue is, and making sure that we're maximizing that dose. All done in real time. We have two ways of delivering it. One, where it's delivering, this is what's being made here, the RadExact, spinning around, body moves in and out of the device and delivers the radiation. This is called a CyberKnife. This is really a manufacturing robot with one of those linear accelerators on the end of it. It moves around the body in kind of like multiple dimensions. Our stuff is really good at what we call motion management. So it's about 10 years of research is now coming out. Oftentimes treatments will be 5 to 500 appointments. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of toxicity from an environmental standpoint. If you're a family member, you're driving people to and from, and it's disruptive. Something called hypofractionation, which is delivering higher dosages in less treatments. The evidence is coming out after some of these longer-term trials, 10-year-like trials, is showing that you can have better, equivalent, if not better outcomes through these fewer events, fewer appointments at higher dosages. And that's what this equipment does really well. We have another kind of product here, which is where you can plan it. All right, so if you have the unfortunate circumstances of going through a cancer treatment, you'll be given a radiation oncologist will provide a prescription for how much radiation that tumor needs to get. We'll then use this equipment, which will figure out how to deliver that. What angles, what tumors, or how do we want to hit the tumor with what different dose on what appointment, and what tissue do we want to avoid? And it's looking at that vectors at 3 dimensions, super cool stuff. Had to mention it because I think it's super fun. I love my job. I get to walk around and talk to physicists, medical doctors. The combination of skills and talents it takes to make and deliver these, it's just fun. So every day is kind of fascinating. Before I get into my leadership talk, I do need to credit where a lot of these ideas came from, 2 highly influential people in my life. As I said, I had the opportunity to work for GE for a long time. That company invested a lot in my leadership, and I had an incredible opportunity with Bob Cancellosi, who later on became a close family friend. He eventually became the chief learning officer. I went in as a very young, first-time early manager to convince him as the head of sales that he needed to do something. He kind of paused the meeting and sat down and gave me a lecture for about an hour about how to run a team. And so when I talk about 5 priorities, he's the person that really helped me learn how to run my team like that. And it was an amazing opportunity. He wrote a book called 4-Loop Learning. These are all of his personal journeys that are personal journals that he's written over his career and how he's mined them essentially over time and learned how to learn from himself. An incredibly brilliant person and great educator. I really appreciate him. And then I took a class from Nick Epley, who's a super accomplished organizational psychologist in neo-normal people and how to build organizations at University of Chicago. He taught me at the same time I was learning Agile and learning all these practices of different techniques and things that we do and how it's backed up by social psychology, and a lot of our Western practices simply don't work, yet we continue to do them. So they helped influence a lot of my leadership style, and I appreciate both of them. So the first thing I'm going to start with is that our behavior is a function of the people and the situation that they're in. Does that make sense? All kinds of social psychology from the Milgram experiments will show that if you put people in a certain situation, they will do unspeakable things if they think that they take away their own authority. It's a great movie, great read, go out, take a look at it. Backed up by lots and lots of social science, yet we as humans tend to overemphasize the effect of people and underinvest in the situation that we put them in. And your role as a leader is to build that situation so that your people can be as successful as they possibly can. This is a picture I took. If you saw in the early slides, I love photography. I have hundreds of thousands of photos. I think this is a super cool photo. As an American, I take a lot of pride seeing the flag with 2 people being able to fly within inches of each other. If you're in a different position, you might not think that is as exciting. All right, some people could be offended by this. So that situation of where you're at in the world, where you're living, matters, and you are creating the situation for your team. And that's why being a people leader is such a great point. I love the way Doug said that at the beginning. So as I said, we tend to overemphasize the people, right? We're always managing people. We're always talking about people, evaluating people as leaders. Now you've got a performance management system out there. You're saying who's good, who's bad, all kinds of different ways. Very infrequent do I see people evaluating the situation of leaders. And this is something that you've got to build for yourself because your organization probably won't do it. Of all my hundreds of thousands of photos, this is without question my favorite picture I have ever taken. I will never take a better picture in my entire life because this was the coolest thing that ever happened. These are 3 people, some of my closest friends and my wife, and I think it demonstrates the situation so well. And I won't ask the question because I'm just going to tell you we're looking for the trailhead called the Knoll. And I saw this happening, and sometimes as a photographer, you kind of want to drift out of the scene and kind of take yourself out of it. I saw this happening. I'm like, oh my God. We have all this technology. Everyone's looking at their phones. They're setting up their watches. Everyone's confused. And I'm like, holy shit, people, just take a step back and look up. So I think this demonstrates the point really well. All right? And these are highly accomplished, brilliant individuals, and just in a situation where they maybe, I'll say, lost some perspective. I have no one's permission to share this photo, by the way. So I apologize to my close friends and my wife if anyone ever watches this. All right. So performance management, key role. You as a leader are going to be evaluating people, right? You are getting evaluated. This is actually my goals and objectives for the year. We run a fiscal year. Our year ends in June, by the way. Who has listed goals and objectives like this? Is it useful?
Sometimes.
I think it's good. It shows everything that you're doing. I tried to redact a little bit to this, so I've got some other things in here. You'll see some blah, blah, blah. But I find it somewhat helpful to explain all the things that you're doing. What it doesn't do is provide focus, though. And almost anyone in a leadership position is playing two different perspectives between all their inputs and their outputs. And you're controlling that situation for your team. The chaos that you might be experiencing of changing functions, changing priorities, different things on different days, if I wake up in the morning and look at this, I'm not sure what my next best action would be. And that's where I differentiate. Yes, we are accountable for a large number of things. I like to say that I don't need to worry about these because my team is doing some of them. And I'll use that as an example. This is my actual priorities. This is from our Q2. So it would have been ending in December. And I just try to simplify things to saying, hey, what am I trying to change? As a leader, I am trying to give back to my team. I am also trying to move the organization forward, and I want absolute clarity around that. This is the thing that Bob Cancellosi taught me. It simplifies things and allows me to also have the conversation with my team that I'm not rolling up everything that you're working on because you're the one taking care of this.